But go catch me off guard. I saw that countdown. You was not gonna catch me. You tried it. You did. You sure did.
Well, could have worked. Anyway, hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm one of your hosts, Mars.
You mad loud? Hold on. I'm one of your hosts, Astro.
And her background likes being loud. But today we're talking about the movie Obsession. If you haven't seen it, I suggest you go watch it. It's phenomenal. Um, but I just want to get off the bat and ask, what are your initial thoughts about this movie? Yeah.
I knew what it was going to be about because the trailer only showed you. The trailer did a good job of showing you very little, but still enough for you to get the premise of the story. So upon first viewing of the trailer, I was like, she's going to be obsessed with them. And then upon viewing the movie, I was like, oh, she's obsessed with them, but not of her own will. And that's creepy to me. So, my first initial thoughts was this is movie. I didn't know the movie was going to be as scary as it was to me, but I thought it was just going to be a movie that is similar in the way of Barbarian, where it wasn't scary, it was just very uncomfortable. And it was that, but it was also very scary. So, what was your first initial thoughts when you viewed it, or even prior to it? Like, what would you think?
Well, for me, I never watched the trailer. It was one of those
Really?
trailers that like will come on at night on YouTube, and I would like click out the video because I'm like terrified. So I never watched a trailer. And even like I've started not watching trailers for movies that I want to like be surprised for, because nowadays I feel like trailers reveal a little too much.
The whole
And
plot.
exactly, I want to feel some kind of suspense, some kind of surprise. So I never watched a trailer. And I went with my friend, and he was like, "Yeah, it's a horror movie. You should watch it." Cause well, he was gonna watch it by himself, and he didn't want to watch it by himself, so I came with him. Um, I had no idea what I was getting into.
Oh yeah, that
No
is a
idea.
terrible, especially since you're someone that don't like horror movies. That is a terrible movie for you to watch.
No. Did not. Mm. Anyway, so yeah, I didn't see a trailer. I went in completely blind. Like when the movie started, I remember thinking, "Wait, what's this movie about?" I had no idea anything about the movie. All I knew was his name, and then I knew, okay, so someone is gonna be obsessed with someone. I thought it was gonna be a bear who was obsessed with Nikki. I didn't know he was gonna make a wish and all that was gonna happen. I didn't know it was her who was gonna be obsessed. I Not watching the trailer was probably the best thing I ever did. I loved going in blind. I'm gonna go into movies blind more often, because like there's so much more mystery behind everything.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed not knowing a bunch of things. I truly enjoyed that. Um,
Wow. Oh,
my camera turned off.
where'd you come from? Where'd you go? Where'd you come from, Cotton Eye Joe?
I think it's because my battery's dying. Oh, because my Wi-Fi sucks.
Dang.
Ah!
Why are you screaming?
Because my camera fell.
But you didn't fall.
My camera fell.
But you didn't fall.
There. Well, on screen I fell.
Um, I was gonna say something and blob. I
What?
was gonna say something, but then I got distracted by your blob.
Just ignore that, okay? And my camera did not fall. Okay.
Okay. All right. But
Anyway, like I for real thought that it was gonna be her who was, I mean, him who was obsessed with her. I didn't
oh,
really.
oh, continue. Sorry.
Yeah, I didn't really. Eventually, I don't really remember how, but I picked up that it was gonna be um the other way around. I think when he started looking at the wishes, I was like, oh, now I see what's gonna happen. And then I put that together.
So someone I tried not to watch people like dissect the movie prior to doing this recording because I didn't want their thoughts to influence mine. But someone did make a good point when I did accidentally watch a video when they said that he was actually very obsessed with her. He wasn't obsessed with her the same way she had been forcibly put to be obsessed with him. So he was obsessed with her in a way that, because there's a lot to dissect to this movie and to talk about. First, Bear being named Bear in terms of a predator, because in the movie he is a predator. Like, let's not mince words, this man's a predator. But even when like he's doing his monologue and stuff like that, if you listen to his words, it's everything that she's done for him, not necessarily things that really attracts him to her. So like he's saying, when my nana died, you were the first one that called. When I moved here, you were the first one that talked to me. It was all about me, 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 what you did for me and stuff like that. Even when she starts to get possessed and she's crying in his car, he doesn't really move to comfort her. He doesn't know how, and essentially and stuff like that, and he starts moving to kind of pat her back and stuff like that, but he doesn't really move to comfort her like she would him and stuff like that. So you get the kind of sense, even when he, like, after the bar scene and they go home after their game night and the cat is dead and he's crying in his room and stuff like that, and the next scene you cut to and he's just looking at pictures of her. Yes, he is very obsessive of her. He's just the quiet part of obsessive. He's not as loudly obsessive as she is in the movie.
Yeah. And I think that's like a great point. Like he is very creepy the way and um he basically, trigger warning before I say this, he basically assaults her in that one scene.
Yes, he does.
It's very forceful. Like the relationship is very is forced upon her. And I remember thinking when the movie like was starting, I was like, she better not die because she is the victim in this. Um, she better not die. I'm glad. I don't know. My friend said like this was like the worst possible ending for her
Yeah, I get
because all her friends are dead.
yeah, push her to the edge.
Exactly. And then and she just comes to, and her friend is dead in her arms. Her other friend is dead outside. The other one is like naked in a chair. It's like, oh my God.
Like, I think I think him leaving her with everything, because again, there's a lot to unpack with this movie, but I think him leaving her with everything to deal with after the fact is was the most cruelest thing you could, was the like the third or fourth or fifth, quite frankly the 10th most cruelest thing he done to her that entire movie. But going back to the beginning, talking about when Bear snapped the wishing willow, at first you can argue that he was innocent, because there was, we're going to get to what people have been saying online, but you can argue that he was innocent, right? You can argue that he didn't know that this thing was going to work, because obviously you see a gag like that, you're not going to think it works.
Right.
But when it does work and when he finally figures out, he basically makes no move to try to change it. In fact, when he figures out that the wish is actually working, and I'm pretty sure the way he figured out, because like it was this montage of them being together and him being happier than ever, and then eventually when it gets to the restaurant scene and his friend Ian calls him and tells him that her father was never in the hospital. In fact, they didn't know who the freak he was talking about when he was on the phone, and basically lied, and he confronted her about it. I think that was the moment he realized that, oh, maybe that wishing willow worked and stuff like that. And then it cuts to the scene of them being intimate and stuff like that. I'm just like, that is such a weighted scene, a weighted thing to do, because from you figuring out, finally having some sort of confirmation that something is wrong here, and you just say, oh well, I kind of want to get, I just kind of want to get my rocks off, whatever, is such a predator thing to do. Like, something's wrong with this girl, because something is wrong with her. Even when they were doing their montage, you look at everyone looking at them and you're just like, and they think it's weird that she goes from not liking this man to all of a sudden being obsessed with him. They think that's very weird. Even the store owner is looking at them like, what? So, I'm like, and then I'm like, after the montage and after that scene, after that scene, it's just like you clearly know that there's something wrong, and whether you think it's a wishing willow or not, you clearly know there's something wrong. You're still taking advantage of her, and I think that scene after the whole montage thing, and after when it cuts to the scene of them being intimate together, that's when you can. That's when I stopped. Like at first, I was like, not even when he made them wish in general, because even before he made that wish, she gave him a chance to say something. And I think him not saying something is a very it's very annoying, because I'm just like, she's giving you your out. She's giving you the chance to hear either the rejection or the acceptance of her feelings, and for you to find a way to move on. But this guy couldn't fathom a world where she could say yes, and couldn't fathom a world if she said no. So instead of just manning up and telling her his feelings, he decided to stammer through. It was such an awkward scene to watch him stammer through, trying to figure out the right words to say or whatever, and ending up not doing it and stuff like that. And it was kind of annoying to watch, because I'm just like, oh my god, she's literally asking you the question that you could use in order to segue into, like, he is such a whiny and annoying character to watch the entire film. Oh, sorry, I went
No,
off.
yeah, he's very self-centered, very
Very.
like again, like he had the perfect opportunity to be like, because she asked him, "Do you like me?" And he says no. That was your in right there. Okay, if you're waiting for the perfect chance to ask her how she feels, she literally asks you how you felt. That is when you speak up. But he can't even do that. And instead of wishing for the confidence to ask her anything, that would be a reasonable wish, right? I wish I was more confident, right? That's okay. But he doesn't wish for that because he can't handle. He doesn't want her to, you know, exercise her free will and reject him. He wants her to be with her, and that's all he cares about. And it's very even when skipping a little bit to later in the film, right? When Wish Nikki, I don't know what to call her, when the crazy version like is sleeping, and then the real Nikki like comes out and asks him to kill her. He's like, "What's so wrong with being with me?" And she's like, "Shh, you're gonna wake her up." And he doesn't care because he's thinking about himself, and he doesn't care about what this is
And she
inflicting
said
on her.
something, yeah, because she said something along the lines like, "I was never with you," and that wounded his ego, and you could tell in his face that wounded his ego, because but the entire time he knew it wasn't real. He knew that this wasn't the Nikki that he known, and even throughout the film when he's just asking her, "Can you just be Nikki? Can you just be Nikki?" Every time that she freaked out, he was like, "You're scaring me. You're why can't you just be Nikki?" Is never, "Are you okay? What's wrong?" Like, he never really truly asked her if she's okay, if anything's wrong. And even with going back to even the wish, like you said, he doesn't wish for confidence. He wishes for her to love him more than anything else in the entire world. And instead of wishing for, it's like the better wish would have been for that confidence to ask her out, or take that rejection or whatever. He wishes for the thing that can control her. I mean, it kind of shows throughout the film, it's shown that he doesn't really care about Nikki the person. He just cares about Nikki the idea of her. I mean, even when the whole reason why he even got the wishing willow was because she dropped her stone down the drain, and it was her favorite stone, and he goes to the store to get it, but instead of getting the stone, he gets something that catches his eye, that he thought was cool, so he got it for her so she can have it and stuff like that, instead of giving her the stone that she probably would have wanted more. Throughout the film, you see that he is more so thinking about himself and stuff like that. Even when um he's confronted with the fact that the wishing willow is true, and that she's not Nikki, um at some point he still put up with the lie that's saying, "Oh, her dad has cancer." And everyone in the film is just like, the dad that she's not close to, so she's worried about his cancer, which is why she's acting like this. Okay.
Right.
It's just watching Bear not devolve but be the person that he was from the beginning, because at a certain point you kind of have to ask yourself, and you kind of have to realize that this man did not just change into this person. He was always this person. He was just, now he has access to the person he always wanted access to, and it's not by her choice, but he wants to make it seem like it's by her choice.
Exactly. Like I felt so bad for Nikki, like, because this was like forced upon her. She had no say in any of this, right? And it's just it's that's why when I watched the film, I was like, please don't die, because none of this is her fault. Like, is it a crime for her just to think of someone as a brother? I don't think so. And again, with the point that you raised, like everyone in the film is like, oh, it's weird how she literally went from saying, "Oh, you're a brother to me," to dating you the next day. Do you not find that weird? And he probably deep down inside does find that weird, but
He
because that
did.
would go against, you know, what he wants, he just chooses to ignore it and chooses to ignore reason because he wants her that bad. And it's and also a point that irritates me is he knows this other girl, Cat, right? She likes him.
Her name is, I thought her name was Sarah.
Tara,
Sarah.
Sarah. It is Sarah. You're so right. Yeah. So Sarah likes him. There you go. There you go.
But he didn't want Sarah. That's the thing.
Because he is so obsessed with Nikki and he
He
wants
is.
Nikki.
And the thing is, when they had that scene in the car before Nikki did what she did,
That
but
scene
when they
scared the
had that scene
crap
in the
out of me.
car, you know, when they had the scene in the car, it was right after the scene of him leaving, basically leaving Nikki at the hands of the other Nikki, being suppressed once again, as he walks out the door to meet Sasha in her car, or Sarah, sorry, Sarah in her car. And it was there that I kind of felt a little bit weird because when I was watching the scene, I was just like, he sounds very flirty with Sarah. And I'm like, I think that scene was him realizing that he probably does not have a chance with Nikki. Or like, he's like, his ego was wounded so bad from Nikki saying that she was never really with him that he turned his prospects over to Sarah, which is what he should have done in the fucking first place. But I digress. Yeah, yeah. But
Like,
anyway, which what he should have done in the first place. But I digress. Like it seems like to me that he had that when his ego was wounded, his image of Nikki was wounded as well.
yes. And to go, first of all, like that scene with Sarah, again, it scared me. I felt off with that scene, so I was like watching it like this.
They kept because they kept going the way they tilted the angle of the camera. It kept pointing out the back of the window.
Right.
I was just like, something gonna happen. Something gonna
Like you're leaving too much room over there. You're leaving room for something to come on the screen.
no.
So
And I screamed when it happened. I was like,
my entire theater screamed. Like that was insane. Oh my god. I was like, ugh. And then anyway, but yeah, he had a shot with Sarah. Sarah likes him, liked him. And it's like you know that Nikki doesn't like you back. Also, she liked him from the beginning of the film, right? And I believe that he knew fairly early on. So my thing would be like, if I'm in his shoes, yeah, I like Nikki. I'm gonna try to ask her out. If she rejects me, I don't want to say like it's basically viewing Sarah as a rebound, but at least you know someone does, right? So you have that in your mind, like, okay, I'm not being rejected because I'm, an unlikable piece of garbage. It's just that she doesn't like me. So it kind of like saves you from that blow a little bit because you know someone out there does. You know what I mean? So it's just that extra drive that could have that he just doesn't capitalize on, and instead he's too focused on taking away her agency. Another thing that I heard people saying, and I agree with, is how a lot of horror films, when something like triggers the events of the horror film, they usually wait a little bit before like the horror stuff starts to kick in, right? They wait like a day or a couple hours. But when he snaps it and makes his wish, it's immediate. She
it is
comes
me.
right out the house, and
Yeah.
the scene, the shot where it shows Nikki on the porch again, scary. That was scary.
It was scary. And her just staring at the car and then her acting that weird way that she was acting because he was like, you're acting kind of weird. You're kind of like acting like you're not yourself. They thought that she was on Molly or something. And
Hmm.
then taking her back to her house. And then the only reason why he lays next to her is because she begs it. But eventually it leads to him laying on the floor the next morning, despite her kissing him because she starts screaming and stuff like that.
That scene also scared me when she started screaming. Oh
Yeah,
my
I
god.
think what happened was the real Nikki kind of came out for a second,
Yeah, she came out and she was like,
and
"What's
then she
happening?" So
was
she
just like,
screamed.
"Oh my God, I'm kissing you. I don't want to be kissing you." But then the other Nikki repressed her and went back to like saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry," and stuff
Yeah,
like
and
that.
also I believe like I don't know how it works, but the way I picture it is like she kind of like came to, right. So it's like imagine one day you're like, or 1 minute you're entering your house, and then the next minute like you're kissing this man. It's like, oh my god. And I also I think like Nikki is like actively being tormented while the
Yeah,
other
she
Nikki
is.
is, because when the call happens, she's like screaming.
Yeah, when he calls the hotline.
Yeah, which that oh my god. Um, Nikki's actress, I don't know her name, but she does such a good job. The way she's able to 1 minute go to frantically screaming, the next one to being calm, and having that weird tone that's like supposed to be like calm, but it's really off putting. To be able to
Mhm.
do that in like a split second is crazy, and that's so impressive.
I was watching some of the interviews. She said that she watched some horror movies like Hereditary, which is a really good horror movie to watch, and some other horror movies. She watched Get Out. She said she's not a horror movie person, but she said she watched some horror movies in order to prepare for the role. So the smile and stuff like that, she kind of took that from Get Out, and then the lighting and stuff like that, they took that one from Hereditary with her standing in the corner. That scene where she was standing in the corner and she was moving mad weird.
When she was in the corner, when Bear wakes up and she's in the corner, you can just see her silhouette.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
And saying she was watching him sleep, I would have been like, bitch, no.
I don't know how he went back to sleep after that. Because I would not be able to go back to sleep. I couldn't. Like that was actually so creepy.
It was. And to watch her sporadically move the way she did, it was so odd. It was the movie was jarring. I think what also contributed to the horror was the surprise moments like that where it was just like, what is she going to do next? But also the real life horror of someone like Bear predating on you and forcing you against your will to do the things that he's doing to her. Because at the end of the day, she this is not something that she asked for. I just want to make this very clear. She didn't ask to be in love with him and stuff like that. She was forced to do this upon that wish that he made. Granted, he didn't know it was real at first, but again, once he knew it was real, he didn't do anything to stop it. Like even when he was like when he called the hotline, his first thing he said was like, I just want to alter the wish. I don't want to change, like I don't want to change it. I want to alter it. And the person online, he was like, just because you chose this for her, that doesn't make it any real, basically. Basically saying him, Bear asks, is this real? And he's like, just because you chose this for her, that doesn't make it any less real and stuff like that. So I just felt like those scenes, there's a lot of scenes in this movie that tell you that Bear is at fault the entire time. There are so many scenes that's letting you know when she bashed Sarah's head in, the entity, whatever was in Nikki, came on the other side. It's like, you wanted this. This is all your fault. It's literally fan feeding to the audience. This is his fault. This is what he wanted. He might have not wanted this, but this is what he wanted, essentially.
And
So
also, I think she was saying in that moment that it's his fault that he went out with Sarah in the first place, and that's why she
yeah,
had to do what she had to do. Like
yeah.
she was like,
But
it's
yeah,
okay, but you know it's your fault. This is all your fault, right? It's your fault.
yeah,
And
it
it is.
had a double meaning. That scene had a double meaning. It definitely
Yeah.
was the meaning of you went out with Sarah, but it was also the meaning of this is all your fault from the beginning.
And
Like
he
it
knows it's his fault.
first
Like,
place.
okay, sure, he didn't know again like that the wish was gonna come true, but the moment he did, and the moment he knew that the only way to stop it would be for him to die, bro should have just took him on for the team. Like, it's your fault, you know.
Especially when he knew that calling the hotline, mind you, the warnings in the back say, I believe they say that because it was so fast, I had to Google what it was, but I believe it says that the hotline will help you. So I'm just like, on top of you not even reading the warnings, you just gonna call these people and ask them to alter the wish and not even the way that it's supposed to be. Because only when he figured out there's no alterations that he tries to cancel it. And it's just like, dude, like this entire movie you're being a piece of shit.
Yeah. Um, I don't even. They could try to do like what Fear Street tried to do, where he like tries to kill himself and then be resuscitated. He could try to do something like that, but he didn't even think about that because he doesn't care. He doesn't care. Like, and that's like the only reason he does at the end is because like he's like it's it got to the point where it's like wow, it's the end of the road.
Yeah, because like at the end when he swallowed the pills, he actually was trying to throw it back up because he was being like he was too afraid to do it because when he tried to put the gun in his mouth, he couldn't pull the trigger. When he swallowed the pills, he finally swallowed the pills. He was trying to throw it back up, but the only reason why he stopped is because the other Nikki made a wish, and the wish was probably the same as his wish, and it made the choice for him basically. It snapped whatever snapped in his body, like it snaps in Nikki's, and they went out there and he went for a kiss and stuff like that, and then he just foamed at the mouth and died. It at the end took away his autonomy and his ability to make the choice not to kill himself. So, which was very poetic for me. Like, cause I'm just like this whole time you were taking away hers, and now all of a sudden you didn't want to kill yourself, but look at you, you're dead now.
Yeah. Um. Back on Sarah, her death scene was so brutal. Oh my
It
god.
was very brutal, and then they had the nerve to go to her face. I was just like, can you not?
It was oh my I was like jeez. Yeah. Uh, it scared me when she came through the window and then she kept bashing her head and I was like, okay, she's
And the thing is, Bear did nothing to stop it.
I don't know what he could have done. Probably I feel like what would you do in that
What
situation though?
he
It's
could have
like
done was put something in between her and the brick and stop or push the brick or say something. He could have done something, but that man
yeah,
is.
but also you still also realize like the shock of someone you didn't even know was there busting through a window and then smashing your friend's
But
head.
you know this
It's
girl. First
like
of all, why was you even talking in a place where she would know where you were at?
I don't think she. I think she just followed him. I don't think he had even any inkling that that could be a possibility.
That's true, but at the same time, it's just like I don't know. I just feel like he could have done something rather than just.
And also, I don't think he realized that she was capable of doing something like that, like just like fully killing someone. Um, because why would you like? We as the audience know that she's like crazy,
Crazy.
but he's like in such denial over that.
Well, he knows that she's crazy because she stood there, but she's. Oh shit! Sorry.
But he's like actively trying to like not believe it. He wants everything to not believe that she's crazy. Also the
Besides, oh, so continue.
no, the shot of when he tries to leave to go to work and like the door is like I don't know what that is, but it's like
It was the she duct tape it shut.
yeah, that
But
was
that's what I'm saying. I'm just like there was no denying. Like he couldn't even deny at a certain point that it was crazy because he made that call in order to alter the wish. So I'm like, she stood there and leaked her own bodily fluids, waiting for you to return home. That was very odd. And then she cooked your cat in your food.
if anything that should have been like the line.
An indication enough. If her outburst in the restaurant was not indication of where she was at, where what this was, then that should have been some sort of indication. Because you, at this point, it's like watching the entire movie. I feel like he didn't even know who Nikki was. Because I'm just like if you just over here questioning everything and not definitively saying, okay, this is not something Nikki would do. Did you really truly know her? Because I'm just like, it's it's almost like you were more so obviously he was more so like in denial of it because he wanted Nikki to stay with him and be in that blissfulness that he was in when they were together and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's just like I don't think he knew that girl at all.
Yeah, he liked like he was obsessed with her, but he didn't
Yeah,
like care. I don't want to say care, but it was a weird
he
relationship.
didn't
Like
care.
he's again he's very self centered. A scene in the movie that pissed me off was when it was Eddie. What's his name? The friend, the male friend,
Ian,
Ian. When Bear is like, "Here, make this wish," and he's like, "I wish for $1 billion." I understand you probably didn't think it was gonna work, but like your friend is coming in here like frantic. If you don't think it's gonna work, at least entertain him. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
why would you wish for that?
that's why he died at the end. I was so happy when they killed him. And the biggest reveal, because he got on my nerves. But the biggest reveal of the movie was when Sarah told, um, one of the biggest reveals of the movie was when Sarah told, Bear that Ian and Nikki has been hooking up off and on. And so my mind, I was like, so you was helping him trying to hook up or be with the girl that you were hooking up with?
I think he knew Nikki didn't like him
Yeah.
and just wanted Nikki to reject him so that he can move on.
Yeah, that's one of the big things that I think too. I think he just because it's been for years that he's been pining after Nikki, and I think he started to get tired of him pining after her. But someone also pointed out, and this is another analysis that I watched, that it's a big ego thing for some men to kind of gloat in some other men's face to say, "Well, I got the girl that you've been trying to pine after this entire time, and you couldn't even. I hit. You couldn't even get one date." So, because yeah, I'm like because for me it's just like why would you? It's like I understand you want him to move on and everything else like that, but why wouldn't you tell him that you guys were hooking up? I think he would have moved on a lot faster had he known that you guys were hooking up. He maybe could have moved on a lot faster. I don't know, but also I think what kind of made me think like Ian was sabotaging him is when he told him to call her Freaky Nikki.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I was like, that sounds like sabotage. Because when he did it, she turned around and says, "You know, I don't like that. Why would you do that?" And stuff like
Hmm.
that. I was just like, he was apologizing over and over again. I was just like, yeah.
Now,
Because now with the context of Ian and her hooking up, I was just like, oh, he definitely did that to sabotage you. He definitely did that. And Ian thinking that the only reason why they're together is to get back at him. He also has a pretty big ego because
yeah, but I can also
this
see from
was
his
real.
point of view where it's like again, like one day she thinks of him as purely like as a brother, and then the next day they're dating. It's like, well, what other explanation could it be? Like this 180 is so weird. 'Cause I don't even know how I would react. Like when my friends did a complete 180, I'm like, what's happening? Like honestly, what's happening? Because something has to be wrong. Something's not adding up. Um, I also love how in this movie, like it's so scary because it's a psychological horror, right? It gets in your mind. You know, every scene is in some way unsettling, right? Once the horror stuff begins, it's so unsettling. Even like her smile, her mannerisms, her outbursts, they're all like so scary. The way she acts, the way she, even when she like cooked the cat, right? My heart dropped. Like when Sarah wrote the note on it. You know what I mean? I was like, oh my god, she took the cat. She took the cat. I knew something was wrong with that meal though. I was like, are you really gonna eat that? I don't trust it. I don't know. I don't know why I didn't trust
Me
it.
too. I was looking at that like that looked nasty.
It looked nasty. I'm like, why are you eating that? I would like take it and then throw it out. And get some Chick-fil-A or something. Like, oh no. And even when Bear's cat died, I was like, bro, that's your fault too. But why are you putting your medicine in a cabinet that doesn't close?
That's another thing that I realized is that everything that Bear was doing, making it sound like that it wasn't his fault. When his cat died, that wasn't his fault. When he broke the wishing willow thing, that wasn't his fault. He didn't know it would work. Instead of taking responsibility for it, like maybe I should have put the cap on the thing and let it like put it in the cabinet so the cat wouldn't get it because the cats can't open cabinet. Or maybe I should have read the warning labels in the back. Or maybe when I like granted he didn't know that it would work, but maybe I should have done something more to stop it. Like it seems like to me that to Bear that nothing is really his fault. Even when she started like when Nikki was going crazy and stuff like that, he blamed it all on her. He was like, "Oh, she's obsessed with me. I'm not obsessed with her. She's obsessed with me. Like she won't leave me alone or whatever." Like cuz when Ian was refused to invite him to a party unless Nikki didn't come, um he was saying to him, he was like, I just think that you're taking advantage of her because she's having a mental breakdown and I think you're taking advantage of her. And Bear saying it's not her, it's me, she's obsessed with me. And then now Ian's like, well, I think she's doing something wrong then. or she's in the wrong then. So him painting her out to be the bad guy to her friends, um, is another layer of kind of like, this guy isn't great. this guy is like this guy is trying everything in his power to, I want to say, isolate her almost from everyone else.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. Um, and when Ian was like, "Oh, you can come, but you can't invite her," I just knew that wasn't gonna end well. I was like, something's gonna happen, and it's not gonna end well. She's gonna do something. I thought she's gonna like, well, because she did freak out when he was like, "You can't come," and she like freaked out. It's really again phenomenal job by the actress, but like it terrifying. Like when she screams like that, it's terrifying. Um, and yeah, ooh, and then the when when they were playing that game at the party, right? And the note the thing that Bear got said, kiss the person to your left. I was like, what's she gonna do? What is she gonna do? My heart dropped. I thought she was, and then she went behind Sarah. I thought she was gonna kill her right there. I thought she was dead, but she just brought her back.
Yeah, I knew she wasn't gonna die in that scene, but I'm like, oh, you got a target on your back now, sis.
She's watching you. She's watching
That whole scene made me uncomfortable. I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my
the
god.
party scene.
Yeah, that scene made me cringe. I was like, ah!
It didn't make me cringe, but I was like so scared because I knew something was gonna happen, and I was scared throughout it. And then when real Nikki came back and like tried to kill herself, I was like, oh my god, that was that was ins-
Yeah, yeah. I also really like, um the when she was talking about, when she was reading the story that she was working on, and the stories was like kind of like Hansel and Gretel, and it was about Gretel's attraction to Hansel, and I think that that was a perfect parallel to their world, because she thought of him as a brother, and Hansel is the brother of Gretel and stuff like that. And so when she was reading that poem about her attraction, I that clearly was supposed to demonstrate their relationship and stuff like that, and how she came to be obsessed with him almost.
yeah, yeah,
I think the writing of this movie was really good in putting elements in the movie that didn't spoon feed us, and left, well, it kind of made everything, because spoon feeding is just telling me it. It made everything obvious without spoon feeding it to me, because clearly we knew what Bear was doing the entire movie. At least I think that I knew what Bear was doing the entire movie. I feel like everyone should know what Bear was doing the entire movie. And clearly you can kind of see the most obvious things, like she became obsessed. Obviously the wishing willow is doing this to her, or whatever is inside of her is doing this for her, not doing this to her and stuff like that. Um, but as the movie progresses and it gets a little increasingly more uncomfortable with, weird Nikki or dangerous Nikki inside of Nikki, and she starts killing people, um it's like I said before, it's like the thing that contributed to the horror was like how real it felt. How much so, the thing that scared me the most was that this happens to people, not the whole wishing willow thing, but the whole isolation thing, the whole being predated on thing, the whole having someone obsessed with you type thing, and it's an unhealthy obsession and stuff like that. um this happens to people, in that real world element mixed in with a more um supernatural element, kind of made this kind of added a lot to the horror of this movie. Another scene that I found very interesting was when Bear went back to the store he got the weeping willow or wishing willow from, and he brought a new one. The one thing he did was, again, another thing that he normally does, which was blame somebody else for his wish, because the store owner said that he used the wishing willow, and it seems like he didn't have any consequences of what was happening, like he does. So, because he started saying like, why would you sell this to people, da, 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 da. He was like, well, I used my wish, and it's like, I'm not having any consequences. So what obviously is what you wish for. It's what and how you wish for it. It's not because you wished, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I was telling my friend when we saw it, I was like, "Is because I remember my friend. He was like, when Eddie, oh, I keep saying Eddie, whatever his name is,
Ian?
Ian. When Ian wished for the $1 billion, whatever, however much he wished for, um, he was like, I expected the money to like spawn in like a giant like cube basically and crush him, and I didn't expect that because the way I interpret the wishes is it's not like a monkey's paw situation where
Yeah.
the stick is trying to twist your wish to make it as like worse as possible, right? Bear's wish was I wish Nikki was in love with me more than anything in the world, and that's obsession, and that's what happens, right? She loves him more than anything, more than even herself, and that's not really what real love is, and so that goes to show basically like the wish, the inherent the wishes aren't inherently bad. You wish for like $1 million, it's gonna give you $1 million in cash, and then you're set, right? It's
Yeah.
not gonna be like, oh, because like in Monkey's Paw, um, the dad wishes for I think £1 million, something like that, and they get it because his son I think like either has his arm cut off or dies in a work accident, and they get the money as compensation. So it's not like that. It's not
It's very, very literal. That's one of the warnings. It's just very, very literal. So you have to word how you have to be careful in how you word your wish. Because imagine if Ian wished for $1 million. There
hmm
would be literal bucks outside his door.
Yeah, it could spawn that in, you know. I think he said $1 million, so it's fine.
Yeah, so it's fine. So
Yeah, but that's why on like a mini sidebar, like whenever there's like these like storylines in anything, I'm like if I'm in that situation, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get a piece of paper and I'm gonna like write out the wish I want to say, and I'm gonna read it and make sure that there's nothing that can be misinterpreted. And if there is, I'm gonna go in and change it. And then when I make the wish, I'm gonna read it off that paper. That way, there's no room for misinterpretation.
that would be the smartest thing to do.
Right? Like, I'm not wasting my wish. I'm not gonna wish something that because like obviously the wish takes away her free will. Even if it didn't like send her into like the nether realm to be tortured, like
To
at the
know.
end of the day, she's still forced to feel this feeling she doesn't actually feel. So even if she wasn't actively being tortured, um her agency is being fully stripped from her by Bear. Um, and then another thing I really really enjoyed in this movie was again how like this movie was so scary that when I got home I had to watch Bluey
Mhm.
like an entire season of Bluey. I just like binge watched Bluey until I went to bed. And it worked, but like terrifying. I was terrified to like cross the lawn to get inside my house. I was like, my friend was like, I will never like the movie was amazing, but I'll never watch it again. Like I can't watch that again. Because it something about it from the way the shots are from the way the shots are composed to the acting of Nikki's actress and like the whole like premise of the movie, it's terrifying and like it's genuinely terrifying. So to like a degree where some other horror films like yeah it was scary, but I'm not like scared to go to bed. You know what I mean? Like this one I was like it was so scary. I needed to like cleanse my brain and like do a little bit of a reset.
Yeah, it was one of the scariest movies I've seen in a long time, and I've seen a bunch of scary movies. This one actually genuinely scared me, and it scared me. It kind of uncomfortably scared me, if that makes sense. Whereas other movies kind of like scare me. This one was uncomfortable, scary. Like I was very uncomfortable throughout a lot of the film because of the element of Nikki being um against her will and stuff like that, like being predated on by Bear. But I was just scared because of how that was how this entity or whatever was in her was acting and moving about the world, um, which was very interesting. Even there was a scene when I forgot what was happening, but it eventually led to Nikki walking backwards and saying all these. I, it was a very creepy scene, and it was very abrupt when they did it. So I was like, oh, "Crap! What's happening?" So it was like again, it was one of the movies that in a long time that have scared me. from a long time. The other movie that did that, I would say, was kind of Talk to Me, kind of scared me a little bit. Um, and The Autopsy of Jane Doe scared me just a little bit. I think Lights Out consistently scares me, no matter what.
What scared the crap out of me? I was young when I watched it.
Yeah,
I'm glad I watched
that's the
it.
first movie to watch. But yeah, Lights Out scares the crap out of me. And I think because I have a very, very weird phobia of the dark, sometimes I don't even think about it and I just go to sleep. Other times I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking something staring back at me. And that's kind of what Obsession did because a lot of because her scenes in the dark were very creepy. Her just standing there. And I really like the use of shadows in this movie because they didn't do much to warp her face or anything else like that. They let the shadow do it yourself, where to the point where it's just like, am I seeing what I'm seeing, or is this the shadow just playing tricks on me? You know. So I really
Yeah.
like the use of shadows in this film, and the use of her facial expressions in this film because she didn't. That's what makes this film kind of great because she didn't have to turn into an entity to be scary. She just had to be scary. So the guy who directed it, I think his name is Curry Barker. He did a really good job in directing. I think you said he was like earlier that he's like 26.
Yeah, he's 26, which I didn't even know until recently, and that's amazing. Again, kind of like with the background director, like it's really cool that the people are getting into directing at such a young age. And
Yeah.
um, I was gonna say also like the scenes where Nikki is like in the background, but she's always looking at Bear. It's terrifying. Like she's just staring at them. Um, and like it's so unsettling. Everything from yeah, like you said, her mannerisms, her facial movements, her the way she speaks, the way she smiles. And especially when she's in the dark and she has like you just see her silhouette and the darkness is concealing her face and everything, and the way she moves, everything about her is unsettling, and that definitely contributed to why the film is as scary as it is because it's truly yeah, it's truly terrifying. I don't even think I can watch it again anytime soon. I'm not sure about never, but I'm gonna give it some time. I'm gonna give it some time before I watch that again.
I'm definitely gonna watch it again.
I
Because there's
definitely
something that I probably missed.
Definitely that things I missed. I really want to sit down there and watch it, just not anytime soon. Also, the word of mouth with this film is like incredible because like even like me, I watched it. I told like everyone like how good it was and that they have to go watch it in theaters. Like you just have to do it. So that's definitely a reason. I don't even know how much its budget was and how much it's grossed so far, but I know it's doing very very well. I can just tell. I can just tell that it's doing very well.
Yeah, I could tell by the many people that have said, "Oh, go watch Obsession, watch Obsession, watch Obsession." I'm like, okay, I'll go watch it. Dang, like I've been wanting to see the movie anyway because I was very interested when it was first advertised about what it was about. So I was already very interested in seeing it since I'm always on a new horror radar and stuff like that. And I'm always looking for new horrors to watch. Um, so when I saw it, like I think it was like last year or something like that, and it finally coming out this year, I was already going to see it, but seeing everyone being no pun intended, but obsessed with this movie has been, and the discussions around it has been very um rewarding to watch, especially since I think more people should just be into horror. I get that horror is like a genre that's scary. It's like not for everybody, but horror has a lot of good stories, much like Obsession, that you can kind of dissect and look into and get the bigger or deeper picture in it and stuff like that. Obsession was more so um one of the bigger pictures, but if you look at Talk to Me and stuff like that, it's an allegory for drug use and stuff like that. So everything everything in Talk to Me, a lot of things in Talk to Me could be dissected into um something like drug use and stuff. So with Obsession, obviously it's about be someone being obsessed, but being people being obsessed in two different ways. Whereas Nikki was the louder parts in the film, Bear was the silent parts of the film. And I think I remember someone saying that too, where he was the softer parts and she was the louder parts, I should say. Or he was the quiet parts and she was the louder parts. Um, and yeah,
Yeah, it was definitely solid. Everything just kind of like works. Whew, wow. Even thinking about the movie is giving me like a little bit of like a
Anxiety, right?
Yeah, anxiety is perfect word. Like, it's giving me. I'm a little anxious, like thinking about it, having to like, because I said this before. When I think about something, I picture it in my mind. So as we're talking about the scenes, I see them in my head, and they're scary. So I'm scared again. Um, so that's one thing about having a vivid imagination. But uh, yeah, like, and then the the end was like perfect. First of all, I know you said you're glad. What's his name? Eddie.
Yeah.
Ian. I got it. I got it. I know you said you were happy. I was so annoyed. Again, I was so annoyed when he made that wish. And then he like goes over. Did I don't remember correctly? Did Bear tell him not to come over to his house?
I don't remember.
I don't remember. I don't know why. I feel like he did. But in either situation, why are you going over there? He told you something's wrong. He's saying you're not even believing him, and then now you see that it works. So I feel like it takes 10 seconds to be like, oh, he was serious. You know? He goes over and then Nikki shoots him. I was like, oh wow. Oh wow. He was I don't know, he was annoying. I don't think I was happy he died, but he was getting on my nerves. Um Truly he was getting on my nerves. And then um oh my god, like I just feel so bad for Nikki. Like at the end when she came back to herself, her she's in this trashed environment, all surrounded by her. Like not only are all her friends dead, their bodies are in the house with her. They're
Yeah.
all there.
Honestly, I would have blamed it all on him.
Honestly, yeah. It's just
All on Bear. I would have blamed it all on him. It's like, yeah, and
yeah.
he killed himself. He was torturing me this entire time.
Yeah.
And I like the way she kind of threw him off of her when she came to. And she was like looking around and she started wailing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I I found it so funny the way she threw it.
Well, yeah, that's fair. Like I don't know if she knows he made the wish, but does she
She
know?
knows something was up, that's for sure. But I don't think she really knows that he made the wish. I'm not sure.
She could put two and two together.
Yeah, that something was going on. Um, Especially when it came to him.
Yeah, because she knew that she's being tortured. She knows that she's not
Yeah.
herself. She knows that something took over her body, and whatever it is like in love with Bear. So I mean, it only takes a few steps to connect the dots. But like, hey, like, whoa, um, that ending was, like I said, the worst possible ending for Nikki. I feel bad. Even like when Sarah dies, right? And Nikki's like, "I'll take care of it. Go home." And then she like her body is like in their house. I'm like, oh my god, she's literally the definition of crazy. She's so crazy, and the fact that it took him that long to act like still pisses me off. Um,
Because he didn't want to do the big thing that he knew he had to do. Because
yeah,
he couldn't reverse his wish. He couldn't alter his wish. Therefore, the only other thing that you could do is the one thing that you can.
yeah, but he really did take advantage of her. Like, oh wow, that was such an interesting movie. It was so interesting. I'm really as much as I hate horror because it's just not my kind of genre. I get scared so easily. And I usually have to like watch it with like a blanket like over so I can just like peek. Um, uh, and I think Terrifier because I watched Terrifier. That was a big mistake. That like scarred me. So now I'm even like worse with horror than I used to be before I watched Terrifier. Don't watch Terrifier, guys. Don't do it.
Is that
It's
the
not
clown?
worth it. Huh?
Is that the clown or the mime or whatever
It's
it
a
is?
clown that goes around killing people. It's a body horror franchise.
Body horror?
Yeah,
I hate that. I don't
me
like
too.
body horror.
You see, I got tricked into watching Terrifier. I was told I didn't know anything about it, and my friend, I didn't even know it was a horror movie, and I found out it was a horror movie, and then he's like, no, 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 it's really not bad. It's not scary at all. And I was like, oh, okay. So I go with them. It wasn't scary, but it was horrifying. Like, I didn't like it. It was gross.
Mm.
So that's also a reason why I just don't enjoy horror. That like that movie ruined horror for me even more than it already was. Um, but I as much as I don't like horror, I'm really happy I saw this movie. It was good. It wasn't the best thing ever. I feel like it's hard to get to that standpoint, but again, it was like phenomenal. It was
Yeah, a lot of people are dubbing this the most scariest movie ever made, and I'm like, that's a lot of loaded sentence to me because I'm just like I've seen so many horror movies, like I said. I've seen so many and I can I can't pick one out of all the horror movies I've seen to really dub as a scariest horror movie I've ever seen. It was scary, but not the scariest. Um like I thought Talk to Me was scary. I thought Sinister at certain points was scary. I thought Conjuring, the first one, was scary. Not that scary, but scary enough. I thought the Annabelle, the second one, not the first one, was scary because that demon got active real fast. Um, I thought Lights Out was scary. That's things that is just the phobia of the dark for me though. So it still terrifies me to this day. Um, I thought the Autopsy of Jane Doe was kind of scary, but there was a bunch of horror movies that I found scary. Probably some that I found scarier than Obsession. But it did a really good job of putting putting fear into my heart. Like it really did do a good job at that. So I wouldn't have dubbed that the scariest horror movie of all time when Hereditary is literally right there. And so it's Talk to Me. But you know, I
yeah.
would also like to say that the actress that did this movie, she kind of reminds me of Florence Pugh from Midsummer because both of them acted their asses off in these movies. Like, I mean, Florence Pugh, both of them have this sort of wailing type of thing whenever they cry, whenever they feel anguish and emotion that they captured so well within the scenes. And when Nikki is screaming to Bear, like, I feel like you don't love me as much as like in those scenes it was like it was terrifying to watch her shift form basically in her face and scream at Bear and stuff like that. But she did such a good job in that movie, much like Florence Pugh did in Midsummer, and how she was act the way they acted their roles perfectly was really good, especially when she would pop in and out as weird Nikki, scary Nikki to normal Nikki, and it was just her performance really might remind me of Florence Pugh's performance in Midsummer. That's how Florence Pugh became one of my favorite actors because of Midsummer. Samar, I should say.
Yeah, also I feel like, like with saying that this is like the scariest movie like of all time, like horror movies scare you in different ways. So it's like it's very hard to like say, oh, this one is better than this one because like one was trying to scare you this way, the other one took a complete different method of scaring you. So I feel like it's like almost impossible, really, and it's also a matter of like personal opinion, really, because it's like what scares you and what doesn't scare you as a person. So yeah, I would be very hesitant to say that this is like the best one, but again, it's up there. It's really really good,
It is.
and yeah, I've said this many times. I use it just finished saying it. The actress who plays Nikki, like oh my god, again, like with her wailing and stuff, and how she's able to go from one emotion to like the opposite in like a split second, like that was insane. Like honestly, I would be so like willing and like if I see her in another film, I would like run to the theaters because I know she's gonna put her all into it, and I don't even know her name. I really have to learn her name, but yeah, phenomenal. Oops, I just kicked my desk. Phenomenal job by the director, the writers, because the writing was amazing. Whoever shot this film, whoever worked on the set to film it, phenomenal job with cinematography. Like, that just like aided in how unsettling it was, especially because again, whenever Nikki's like in the background, you can always see her staring at Bear. It just adds that level of uncomfortableness and anxiety and fear into the film. Um, but with that, I believe we should rank it. And I think we are going to be on the same page. I think we're both thinking of the same thing. But to go over to those who have not heard this tier list before, at the top is God tier. Right below that is almost masterpiece. In the middle is not good, not bad. Below that is watchable, and the bottom of the barrel is the worst thing I ever saw. So where do you believe Obsession belongs?
I'm gonna say it belongs in Almost Masterpiece.
Really?
Yeah,
Why?
because the movie did do a lot in opening up discussions and stuff like that, especially with people. Which, side note, a lot of you people think that Bear is not the villain. That's very odd to me. Or that he's not the protagonist is not technically the antagonist in the entire movie. He's definitely not the villain of this. But that's beside the point. I think it belongs in almost masterpiece because it did a good job in scaring me, it did a good job at everything else like that, but there was still something in it that was like not missing, but something in it that I feel like I needed more of. And I think it had to do with what was it? I think it would have to do with the music. I think the music did a good job with swelling the scenes and giving that scary effect. But I actually would have liked a little less of it because of the fact that, and this is just me being nitpicky, but because of the fact of it, I guess, like I said, the horror part of this movie was the fact that how real it also felt on top of the supernatural how it felt, and I feel like the music kind of took away sometimes of the real effect that it had on me, or the realness that it had on me. So it kind of took me out the movie, and some of the scenes, some of the jump scares. Well, I can only mention maybe one or two jump scares that kind of took me out of the movie a little bit. Like when she moved backwards, it was so jarring to me that it kind of took me out the scene a little bit, and it made me laugh just a tiny bit. Like I was there laughing just a little bit, just a little bit. Like I feel like there's some scenes I shouldn't have been laughing at, but I was laughing. That with that being said, it still did a good job in scaring me. I was just laughing sometimes. So
I don't. I personally think it belongs in God tier because yes, well, there are things that could be fixed. Like there is no such thing, in my opinion, as a perfect movie. There's always something that can be improved, worked on, or otherwise tweaked, and that's kind of just the way the art form works. You're never really gonna have the film that is like really truly like perfect. It's always gonna be something. We're humans, we're not machines. So and like the criticisms you mentioned, like I you said yourself that they're nitpicky, yes. And if you truly like scrutinize anything in that way, like it's going to show like holes and stuff. But like the movie again is one of the most terrifying things I've ever seen. It like
you
it
don't watch that.
truly crawled into my soul and made me scared. I've never I'm not much of a horror person, but I have not had to like cleanse my mind by watching a children's show after watching a horror movie before. Even after Terrifier, I was fine not watching Bluey. But this I had to reset. Um, and the acting is just so good. The camera work is just so good. Everything like works together to bring that ultimate feel of uneasiness of psychological horror. Again, like it doesn't even rely on jump scares that much. And the jump scares, they're barely even jump scares. Like the one like where she's standing in the corner. I wouldn't even really count it as a jump scare. It's just scary because of the way she's standing and staring at him sleep. And everything from that, the story, the writing, it just all works. Like I said, um, to where I was terrified sitting in my seat. I was like, honestly, like I believe it belongs in God's ear. And the music, I think the music added to it. I don't think I would go for less. I mean, less is okay. Like it would like the music didn't really make it, but it definitely added to a few of the scenes. It really did. And also I've saw some people saying like it's like fast. I don't think it's that fast. I don't think it's slow either. I think it's like somewhere in the middle where because yes, something is always happening, but it does take times to like slow down and like feel the weight of something. Um and I left the theater. I was terrified, yes, but I I was very satisfied with the ending, right? Like the ending as like horrifying as
It's
it is for the
that I did
character.
not like about it. That ending, I did not like that ending.
I liked it. I felt really really bad for Nikki. But I think that was one of the most perfect ways to end the movie. Like, because it's either that or somehow you find a way to make Bear survive. But he had to die in order for Nikki to be free. It's either that or you keep her under the control and it ends. it could have ended with Bear joining her under the control of the Wish, which I don't think I would have liked.
I
I
would have
also
liked
found
that, but I also did not like the fact that she was left to deal with that mess by herself. She's already been
she could just pin it all on Bear. She'd be like, he was keeping me here against my will, which he was. And you know, he got really like controlling, and he started just killing people, man. And it's in Bear's house.
it
So
is that he inherited from his granny.
what?
That he inherited from his granny.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Everything is Bear's fault. So I mean, she's not even gonna be lying to the authorities. I think she'd be able to get off. And she's like physically like mangled and disheveled, right? So she has all the things that can maybe get her out. She's gotta get a good lawyer. I think she's good. I think she's good. Traumatized, yes, but jail for life, I doubt it. I doubt it. I'd be upset. Um, I do think it belongs in God's ear because there are a few things, but there's always gonna be a few things, and I don't think it like in the old um in the old tier list before we did the reset, right? We had movies like okay, Avatar wasn't God tier, but we all agree it belongs like in like almost masterpiece, right? So, do you really think that a movie like Avatar belongs in the
Yeah,
same?
put that shit right at the bottom. I don't know what you
We
talking
talked about that. The first Avatar is not bad.
about. I put that shit right at the bottom.
It is not bad.
It's not bad. I just said put that shit at the bottom. I probably didn't even say that. I probably said something like, not good, not bad, to
I
be
think that's
fair.
what she said. But also, we put the Little Mermaid live action remake in almost masterpiece. I don't. Yes, there are two different genres, obviously, but I believe that you know, Obsession is like it's here, man. Like it's so good. I'm
I
so
wish there
happy.
was a I I wish there was a thing between God's here and almost masterpiece.
I
That's
don't
like
even think it will belong there. I truly do believe it belongs at the
in
top. The
God
next,
here.
yeah, because
You really believe it
how
belongs
are
at
you
the
gonna say that this movie is any worse than Lost in Starlight? Because if you really wanted to nitpick things about Lost in Starlight, we could make a list about that.
I can make a list about that.
Because there are a few things that just don't work, but at the end of the day, you know, the movie is just so it's just that solid. Where yes, there's a few holes, but the ship keeps sailing.
Yeah, I still think it belongs in almost masterpiece.
I have the tier list, so it goes where it wants to go.
Damn. Damn.
Yeah.
Putting God's here because it actually did kind of terrify me. Not even kind of, it terrified me. I was so anxious afterwards. I was like, ooh, let me just breathe first before I actually start.
No, actually, like on the ride home from the movie theater, I kept looking because the car scene. I kept looking out my window whenever the car
Yeah.
stopped.
Uh-huh.
And even my friend who I was with, like, because we were talking about the movie in the parking lot, and then eventually he was like, "Can we do some driving? I don't want to stay in the same spot for too long." Because again, that car scene was like one of the most terrifying parts of the movie.
Yeah.
Just the shock of it is like, whoa. And like, I already have like anxiety when it comes to like people like I don't know. I saw a video of somebody like opening somebody's door and confronting them, and I was like, "Why wasn't your door locked?" So ever since then, like I have anxiety in a car already from like in a parking lot
That's
because
why I always lock my door whenever I get in the car.
me too. Because you know people are crazy.
People are
People. What if like you piss someone off at the Walmart because you bumped into them and you think it's something, but they follow you outside and bust your car door open and try to drag you out to fight.
like
Like people are crazy. So I always lock my door. And because of this, I already have this like underlying anxiety when I'm in a car that's not moving. Even when it's moving, I have anxiety. So it's like after that movie, we were both like, wait, can we start driving? I feel safer when people can't like bust my door open. Like that movie was actually everything about it was like done so well that it terrified me, and I knew you were gonna like it. After I saw it and after you came over, I was like, "You have to watch this." I knew you would like
I
it.
knew I was gonna like it because based off that trailer, I was like, oh, I know I'm gonna like this. I feel like because like for me, I thought it was gonna be more so like weapons, where I liked it, but I didn't like it as much as I liked the trailers of weapons. So I thought I
Mhm.
was gonna like it like that. but I liked it a lot more than I did Weapons. Because, like I said, I'm just being nitpicky because I watch a lot of horror movies. It's my genre. It's my bread and butter. It's my reason to live, to die, to everything. No, I'm just kidding. But I love horror movies and I love watching horror movies. So me saying that it belongs in Almost Masterpiece is me thinking of the other horror movies that I believe do belong in God tier, much in the way of Midsummer, Hereditary, um, even the Autopsy of Jane Doe, though I'm pretty sure people have like some disagreements with that because Hereditary was also actually very terrifying and very gory, I guess I could say. But also, I do believe Obsession was also got gory towards the end, but it was very gory. So if I had to say, I would put it in God tier just because of how much it scared me. Um, and yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But horror movies are my genre, so I'm thinking of the other horror movies that I have in my head. That's literally just it. Um,
well, yeah, like there, like I've heard like Hereditary is like one of the best horror movies. Um, like I don't think it's like the best thing, but I do think it deserves to be like discussed around like some of like awesome horror movies that actually put in a good effort to scare you and not just rely on jump scares and stuff like that.
yeah, yeah, I
Because
agree. I do think that too. I think it belongs in those discussions.
yeah, and like I love how again it gets into your mind, it gets into your body, and like psychological horrors, they're one of the scariest because like yes, like a monster being creepy and scary, that's scary, right? Because like your imagination will run away. But like psychological horrors, it gets into your brain. It gets into your brain, man. Um, and like that's just terrifying on like a different level. Um, yeah, I had to watch like half a season of Bluey. Good show, by the
I
way.
mean, since you're on a horror movie kick, you should watch Hereditary.
No, I'm good.
Come on,
Mm-mm.
come on, watch
I
Hereditary.
value my sanity.
At least watch Midsummer.
Mm-mm-mm.
Midsummer's not
No.
scary.
That's what everyone says about every horror movie ever. It's not scary. It's not scary. You know,
Because
they told me Terrifier is not scary. It's not scary.
well, they told you to be mean. I'm telling you, Midsummer is not scary because although they do be killing people in that movie, it's more so a dissection into the psychology of a breakup. At the core of the movie is a breakup because it's about these two characters, one a girl, one a boy, obviously, because you know heterosexual norm relationships are the norm, whatever. Um, but what is it? It's about this couple who whose relationship at the end of the ropes, but then something happens with the girl that lead him to be stuck in this relationship for the foreseeable future because if he breaks up with her, he looks like the bad guy. If he stays with her, he's still the bad guy. So what does he do? And in the midst of them being in this turmoil relationship where it looks like both of them should just end it, but they're not because she needs him right now. She needs somebody right now, and he doesn't want to end it because he doesn't want to seem like the bad guy. In the midst of them being in this, they get invited to this commune. That's a freaking. It's a cult. It's a cult.
Yeah, it's
It's a
cool.
cult. Like they get invited to this cult and by their friend because they're I think they're anthropology majors or whatever and they're trying to study their culture and stuff like that and so they're there to write a paper, but then they got more than what they bargained for because he brought them there to be sacrifices, basically. So that's the type of movie it is. I mean, if you don't mind watching, I mean, I know you don't like body gore though, so I would say just
When I tell you I don't do horror, I really need to paint you a picture so you understand the level of I don't do horror that I am. I was scared watching the FNAF movies.
oh, you're weenie.
You know what? And that is where we end it, folks. Okay, the podcast is over. And when I say that, I don't mean the video. I mean the channel. It's being deleted tomorrow. Thank you for the journey. Go watch someone else now. We're done. The band has broken up. One Direction is going the other direction. It's over. Nada. Zip. Done. All right, we are done. We are more broken up than Yugoslavia. Okay, we are over. Like Vladimir the second, we are assassinated. It's gone. Period. Over. Okay. Draw the curtains. Stop rolling the cameras. All right. Return the cast to their homes. We're done. Wrap it up.
I thought you belong in Weenie Hutchin.
It's over, folks. It's over. It's over. The channel is over.
I love you. No, nephew. No, no.
I'm disappointed.
Super weenie. If it makes you feel any better, I was like that when I was 8.
Okay, my dear co-host got disconnected. Unfortunately, it's okay. It's okay. No one's gonna miss it. No one's gonna miss it. It's fine. It's fine.
Wow, you gonna take out my video too? That's crazy. What? Because I got you.
So she's going away in the timeout.
Wow, you know they can still hear me, right? Hey guys, he's turning off my camera.
How do I mute you again? How do I mute you?
You're back on.
Just mute it. There we go. Okay.
Muting me and everything. That's so rude.
I'm looking at the button that says kick participant out. It's looking a little shiny. Rude? Me? Me? No. I'm amazing. I'm not rude.
Can you do me a favor?
What? You have Bieber fever?
What is your SpongeBob impression?
I wasn't doing a SpongeBob impression. I wasn't doing a SpongeBob impression.
I said, how good is it?
Yours?
How good is yours?
Not good.
All right, can you, in your best SpongeBob impression, say super weenie hutch?
Okay, again, the Wi-Fi is awful. Wow. You know what? Yeah, it's really bad. It's so bad. Oh my gosh, she just keeps going in and out, and not like the burger place.
Hey, stop muting me. Anyway, we're gonna put Obsession in God here.
Yeah,
it was a really good movie.
Put a 1 in the chat if you think I should fire Astro over here.
Fire me? You can't fire me. I am the humor that brings us together.
Are you calling me unfunny?
Well, I mean, if the shoe fits.
Okay, so we're just gonna do that, and we're just gonna go away. There we go. Oh my god, the Wi-Fi is awful. You know, it's the time of the year that it just gets
muting my mic. That is crazy.
I can't see you. I think your camera is having issues.
My camera's not having issues if I'm moving. You're just mad because.
So yeah, if I should fire her, let me know. I'll do it.
But I love you, nephew. I love you. Come on. Anyway,
if you got this far, thank you for watching. We love you. Astro loves you a little less, but it's okay.
No, I love you more.
That's just the person that she is.
Apparently, I'm obsessed.
Pun. Ha ha ha. The funny one, right?
Thank you.
We'll see. We'll see. But if you came this far, we thank you, we love you, and we appreciate you. Just remember, you gotta eat your dinner and you gotta get your sleep. So make sure you do that. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
You see how I always say bye first? Because I respect you and I appreciate you. And that is why, okay? So, you know what? And if Astro disagrees, she should say something like in 10 seconds. She should say something. But no, she's not saying anything. That means I love you the most. Bye!